The Phoenix has finally returned to the world of the living, but will it be enough for the mutant community to help stem the tide of the Dominion threat? Well, let's hop into the pages of X-Men Forever issue number 3 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we actually check back on in with Doug Cipher. Yeah, I know, it's been so long since we've seen this guy, I assumed he was never coming back. If you'll recall, the last time we did see him, Krakoa basically ate him for safekeeping. Once it became all too apparent that the mutant community's collective shit was about to hit the fan, and it did, but now Krakoa thinks it's the perfect time to spit Doug back out again, just as the entire world seems to be on fire with mutants fighting the Orchis Sentinels. The X-Men have made a nice little dent in these giant killer robots, but it's still not enough. Wouldn't you believe that the actual real key to bringing these guys down might actually lay within the mind of Sebastian Shaw? Shaw, of course, you'll remember, joined Krakoa and the Quiet Council when it best behooved him, and then betrayed all of mutant kind and even gave up his powers to Orchis once it seemed like the nation's days were numbered. But now that it looks like mutants are actually mounting one hell of a comeback against the Sentinels and their would-be destroyers, Shaw, you guessed it, wants to trade sides again. You see, during the construction of the Orchis Sentinels, Shaw was sure to put a backdoor binary shutoff switch inside the giant killer machines. And assuming the good guys live long enough to take him back, he's ready to trade this information to Cipher, who again can speak all languages including binary, to finally bring down Orchis's most deadly weapon. Not only does this absolutely work, but we also discover that Shaw kept a secret serum vial that can reverse his own loss of power, so there's another story they tied up in a neat little bow. The real backbone of this issue, as the cover might lead you to believe, actually doesn't have much to do with Shaw or Cipher. Instead, it has to do with the extended family of Nightcrawler. Star-crossed lovers of gray and grayer morality, Mystique and Destiny are finally reunited after what feels like years apart. Kurt is happy at this family reunion, but Mystique, as is so often the case, is not, and tries to gun down her lover Destiny after the big revelation that she discovered in the pages of X-Men Blue. Long story short, Destiny and Xavier had worked together to manipulate Raven's memories, including the true parentage of Kurt. Turns out Mystique is actually way more powerful than we thought. Not only can she shift her shape, but she can also change herself on a genetic level, meaning that she is both one of Kurt's mothers and his father too. And Nightcrawler himself is actually kind of an amalgamation of several different dudes Raven knew at the time, including Azazel, which Kurt was maybe birthed for as a way to try and defeat him. Also, while Nightcrawler isn't mad at his mom's, Destiny just full stop admits that she has no maternal feelings for Kurt, that those were doctored and cut out of her mind as they needed to be to keep her strong, and not cloud her visions of the future, which they're going to need to defeat the Enigma Dominion. Again, this all probably sounds like gibberish to you if you didn't read X-Men Blue. And while it's certainly nice to see this story paid off here in the main series or adjacent to the main series, I just kind of wish that Cy Spurrier got to write the last word on this. Then of course there's still the matter of Hope. She had burned Jean on a pyre at the end of the previous issue to enact the resurrection of the Phoenix, but the Phoenix is actually scared now and ends up running away. So Hope has to give chase to it because forging the Phoenix Blade is the only way they're ever going to defeat these evil dominions, including Enigma. Just when things really look like they're going bad, Kirk ends up giving his Hope Blade over to Exodus, who uses its power to have a conversation with Hope. Again, these two had this whole weird back and forth where Exodus thought that Hope was the mutant messiah, and he became cultishly devoted to her, but he never really saw her as a person. But Kirk gives him a really nice talking to about the true meaning of faith and that there's nothing better than having hope in other people, so Exodus actually gives the Hope Blade to Hope, which, surprise, surprise, turned out to actually be David Hallier, aka Legion, who I suppose didn't just screw off to a higher state of being like it seemed like he did again in those Cy Spurrier stories. With this extra power boost, Hope thinks she finally has everything she needs to track down the Phoenix Force and finish this fight with Orchis and the Dominion once and for all. Of course, she's not much of a sword person, so Legion turns himself into a giant cable-sized gun to honor Hope's adopted father. And now that it seems like things are finally pulling in mutant kind's direction, leave it to Enigma to once again pull out another dirty trick. You see, wherever Hope is going to find the Phoenix Force, Enigma can't follow, so instead Enigma decides to use its amazing power to go back in time to have a meeting with Hope's mother in Anchorage, Alaska, before she even knew she was pregnant. Ah yes, the classic Terminator gambit. We are finally over the Arnold Schwarzenegger horizon, I see. Also, I like when Enigma assumes a human form. He just looks like a younger, more dapper, more English-looking Sinister with a a king symbol on its head instead of a diamond. And so that was X-Men Forever issue number 3, everybody, a series that most certainly feels like it's been going on forever, hasn't it? This issue took some special time out to shine a light on most of what Spurrier was writing for the X-Men era, stuff that was truly excellent and stuff that I really enjoyed, but stuff that kind of feels like it got overshadowed by what Duggan was doing and what Gillian was doing. Hell, while I'm certainly happy we got a sense of closure and the story did end up hooking up with everything else that was going on here, I just cannot shake the feeling that Spurrier would have done it all a little differently, considering that he was the architect of all this new stuff that's been going on with Nightcrawler since the Krakoan era began. Here, years worth of story and 3 multiple different books just kind of end up becoming footnotes in a much bigger battle. Which, again, maybe one day with the benefit of hindsight, when someone actually gets to sit down and read all of this all the way through for the first time, maybe it'll be a little bit more effective, but for me it just left me slightly cold. Still though, I didn't have a particularly bad time reading this issue. It moves at a good pace, was exciting when it needed to be, and certainly had 1 or 2 fun character moments that kept me invested. Overall, I would give this one a 7 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers. A lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.